Hi guys, welcome back. We are going to change Emma into another little summery dress. While I answer, I think, what is it called? First Impressions? I think that's the name of the tag. I don't know if it was Herlanda that started it or someone else. For that I'm sorry, but I just thought I'd jump in and share my first impression on Reborn. Well, I changed little Emma here. Let me see. She's gonna wear this little dress she's never worn before. She's the only one that fits into it. It's a newborn by Carter. So it has little umbrellas, like peachy orange. Little patches on the umbrella. And little polka dots. But yeah, she's gonna wear that with her little sandals. Because it's been a little while since I played with her. But yeah, let me start with my answer to first impressions. And now let me just say that my answer may be a little off. may sound a bit strange to some people because it's not a very, I guess, common response. But it's the truth. And a little bit about me, background. When I was a little girl, I was scared of a lot of things, like the dark and creepy things and creepy movies. And I remember I had this doll once when I was little that was beautiful. It was like an Indian doll. She had long black hair. She was like my size. I must have been, what, like 4? God, I remember this doll. And she was like my size, and she would just stand up stiff, but she would stand up and be my height. And she had beautiful shiny long black hair, like down below her waist. And she was very tan skinned. She was a beautiful doll. However, ended up being really afraid of that doll because her eyes were always open, and in the dark I used to think that I would see her moving and things like that. You know, little kids, the way they are and whatever. And so I freaked out, and my parents had to remove the doll from my room, so I would just play with her in the daytime, but she was never allowed in my room at night or I would freak out. That being said, when I first let me see. When I first found out about these dollies, well, my first thoughts were, oh my God, they're creepy. Because to me, and this might sound terrible, but it's my truth. To me, they used to look like dead babies, and they would freak me out. And so I would see YouTube videos, and this is years and years ago, because I've known about these dolls for many, many years. But I used to sometimes, like on my feed, sometimes these videos would pop up, and I would sometimes watch them, and I would be like, oh wow, that one's cute. But I have to say that throughout the years, these dolls have evolved in that, for me, when I say they look more realistic to me now. Because there's new techniques, people learned new ways of painting them and texturizing their skin, and their little eyes look more real if they're glass, and skin texture and the quality of their hair, and they advanced with the times. They evolved very well, in my opinion. And throughout time, people developed these amazing new techniques to make them look like real babies. Because I've always loved babies. Like when I was little, the only dolls that I loved when I was a child were baby dolls for some reason. Those could stay in my room, but anything else, no, they would creep me out. So as an adult, I don't know whose video I saw, but I I saw somebody's video that I was like, oh my gosh, it was a box opening, somebody's box opening. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. And it was an open eye baby. The video was like really high quality, that I was able to see like the baby's features really well and close up. And I was like, and that's what started me thinking and getting into more like, should I get one just to see what they look like? And that's how I ended up buying Liam. And at first, I didn't like sleeping babies. But, like I said before, oh wow, these little shorts fit her perfect. Like I said before, these dolls have changed a lot, in my opinion, as far as, their paint, the paint techniques that people use nowadays to paint them. They are super realistic, and they can fool anybody, almost anybody. But you can still come across, that one baby that may look a little too purple, or, something with the coloring, or too much yellow around the eyes and purple near it. And that is why I'm so picky, and that's what also started me thinking about painting them. So that's where my whole interest when it comes to me being an artist comes in. I was curious to see how far I can take it, how much I can put into one of these babies to make them look as real as possible, because honestly, when I got my first baby, who was Liam, he was awful. And he was scary to me. Even though he had open eyes, he was one of those babies that I didn't particularly like because of his coloring. And of course, I'm not a child. I'm not scared anymore. Although I will say, I'm not going to share this dream because I don't want anybody to freak out or think I'm nuts. But I did have a horrible dream about 2 months ago, which I still remember when it comes to these dolls. But Liam was horrible. And so that's where I stripped him completely, and I started, fooling around with the paints, and that's what started me painting the babies. But as far as first impressions when it comes to these babies, it was not good. Like, I didn't think I was ever going to even like them. And now I love them. I never judged anybody for it. But then, because I never really took the time to look into them, and when I did, that's when it all started for me, and I fell in love with them and said, oh my God, they look adorable, and they look so real, and stuff like that. But in the beginning, for me, it was not good. And that is also why I understand when other people say, no, I'm not going to say that I understand if somebody's nasty, no, because that doesn't, what I'm saying is, like, if somebody has an opinion that differs from mine, I understand. Like, I don't get offended easily when it comes to these babies, because I was once that person. I was never mean about it. I didn't judge anybody for having these dolls, but I was a little bit like, because of what I saw, on YouTube, and some of the dolls didn't look all that great to me and stuff like that, and they used to creep me out. And because of that is why I say I could understand how some people may not understand the hobby. But just like I didn't understand the hobby in the beginning, and I didn't judge anybody or make anyone feel bad or hurt anybody's feelings or call anyone crazy, is why I understand how some people may not fully understand the hobby, or be a little bit creeped out, or, oh my God, they look so real. Yeah, they look real, but to some people they could still look a little bit, creepy or whatever, whatnot, and that's okay, because I was once that person, like I said. But I was never disrespectful, rude, mean, or any of those things. So because I wasn't, is why I don't tolerate anyone being rude or mean back. If you don't like the hobby and you have negative things to say, then stay the heck away from me. And that's putting it mildly. Because I have I have strong feelings when it comes to things I believe in and things that I know that are harmless, and people can be so mean. And I was once that person. I didn't understand the hobby. I didn't like the dolls, honestly. But I was never mean. I wasn't disrespectful. I wasn't rude. And I didn't judge anybody for it. Yeah, I will question it. Like, what is it that they find in those babies? Like, why are people waiting by the door for them? For the mailman to come. And because it's something unknown. And when you don't know something, or it's unknown to you, foreign, you tend to like question it, and you have your own opinion. It doesn't mean that it gives you the right to be disrespectful, mean, or rude. So, yeah, my first impression wasn't that great, but now it is, and that's what's important. Let me comb her hair. And I think they're adorable, and I think that as time goes by, people figure out more and more ways to make these dolls look real. And here's a funny story. My brother, I think I messed up, but it was Thanksgiving. It was with Emma, actually. Let me see the time again. It was last Thanksgiving, and I had Emma. And remember, Emma was my first little girl. She was right after Liam. And this Thanksgiving, my brother arrived early, and I decided, let me see if he thinks she's real. So I set her up sleeping with a cute little blanket in the middle of my big bed, and I tell him, come upstairs, I want to show you, I'm babysitting my neighbor's baby. She's a newborn little girl. And he's coming up the stairs with me, and I'm trying so hard not to laugh. And he comes in, and he knows that I was busy downstairs cooking the big Thanksgiving feast. And when he goes into the room, he's like, oh, wow. And all of a sudden, he stops dead, like weird. And later, I find out later that in his mind, he thought, oh my gosh, how long has my sister been in the kitchen cooking that she forgot about that baby? Because I think the baby's sick, or there's something wrong with her, because I don't think she's breathing. In his mind, that's the thought he had. So when I went to pick her up, he's like, but wait, and he like jumped back, and I started to laugh, and that's when I guess he started like figuring it out, and he said words I don't want to say right now, but he's like, what the? And oh my God, is that fake? And I'm like, yeah, I made it. And he's like, why? And his reaction was really out there. But he got like jelly legs, that's what I call jelly legs, and squeamish, and oh my God, but where do you get that from, and how do you make them? And he was interested in the process and in the making of them. But when I asked him, I said, here, hold her, she feels so real, you have to hold her. And he's like saying, no, 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 that's all right, that's all right. And I put her in his arms, and I guess in feeling the weight of them, because as you guys know, they feel like real babies, which is also one of the big things that I think that makes them that much more amazing, is the fact that they feel so real when you carry them, and their little heads go to the side if you don't support their heads and stuff like that. So that's one of the things that shocked me with my first Reborn, and what made me fall in love with them was how real they felt. Not just because they looked real, but because they feel real. And so once he held her and he felt how squishy and wobbly her little head was and all that, he really freaked out. And I think that in that moment, for him, he had never heard of one of these dolls, seen one ever. If it freaked him out pretty bad, to the point that he just handed her back to me and said, here, 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 nope, no more. I can't do it, I can't do it. And he's a grown man, my brother. Oh, The bow is a bit too big, but I like big headbands on little girls. But yeah, he freaked out. I started laughing. Until this day, he can't look at them with a straight face, and I respect that. He doesn't say anything stupid to me. That he does say how many more do I plan to get, and he has asked, how do you sleep with them in the room? Because I have a few of them with me in the room, like on the bouncy chair and stuff like that. Like, doesn't that creep you out? And to me, it doesn't. They actually serve me company. But for him, he's a man or whatever, and it's a little bit hard to process. And the thought of having all these babies all around your room or whatever, and how do you fall asleep, and what about the ones that don't close their eyes and stuff like that. And he's kind of funny about it, but he doesn't ever say anything nasty to me or deems me crazy because I collect them. Maybe, and if he does feel that way, he knows better than to say anything stupid to me, because he knows how I am, and I'm very verbal, and I have a very short tolerance for stupidity or rudeness, and he knows that I will have a mouthful to say back if he goes too far with anything. He knows that, because I just don't. I have zero tolerance for bull. And so, because of that, the people around me, I think, know better than to go too far with me when it comes to the babies. And I like it that way. I prefer it that way. It keeps everybody safe. It keeps my feelings safe. And life goes on. You don't have to like the babies or agree with them, but you must respect them if you plan when you're around me or in my face. That is for sure. Or you will be walking out the front door not very happy. I can guarantee you that. But anyway, ladies, Emma is done. That is, I know my first impression wasn't a lovely one, and I apologize for that, but it's the truth. I'm not going to lie. That was my first impression. I thought they were creepy, and now I love them, and I cannot live without my little girls. She's so cute. And you guys all know my feeling for Elizabeth. That big girl is my girl. Regardless of what anybody thinks or says. She's amazing. And she's a sleepy eye baby. Go figure, right? Oh, que linda. She looks so cute. It even has a little working pocket. She could put one piece of candy inside there. Let me see the passies. I have like this whole box of passies that I love passies. However, if you guys notice throughout my videos, I rarely put them, their passies. I have to start doing that. Let me see, Emma. Let me see that one. Oh, that's a new one. I love this passy. Does it match? I don't have anything that has that kind of orange. It's gonna have to do. Look how cute she looks. She smells like coconuts. Because of this. I'm surprised because I usually like them for them to curve around her little cheeks a little more. But I think her little cheeks are just fine. Now I'm really going to go because I'm going to serve the kids their dinner. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and my crazy ramblings and first impressions. Miss Emma here. I hope everybody's having a good week. A good Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? Yeah, I think it's Tuesday. A great Tuesday. And as always, the babies and I will see you in our next video. Bye, guys.